Hey everybody, this is Use Doctor, and we're doing another pass at Day 0 Orientation for Newbros. So this is part 2, and I'll be going into a little bit more detail around how to grow your character experience out if you're a new player. And let's begin where we left off with my new toon, Iberia Cooley. And we can see that I've got 3 days left in my training queue. I have no unexpended skill points. I can see that I've, successfully trained a bunch of my skills. And if you ever want to return back to looking to see what skills you have trained, you can go to your History tab and then click on Skills. And it will show you the history of the recent skills that you've trained. So, I've added Minotaur Frigate, Mining Frigate, Drones, Drone Avionics, Spaceship Command, Light Drone Operation, Reprocessing up to level 4. And I've added Surgical Strike, Mining Frigate, and Minotaur Frigate level 3. Now with Mining Frigate and Minotaur Frigate both trained to level 4 now, what I'm going to want to add into my queue to kind of make the most out of this ship, and continuing with the industrial missions and, sort of continuing that same train of development. Again, I haven't added any extra money to this character. I've only made the money that I've made on this character. There's no extra inputs coming in here. This is strictly exactly the same experience you would experience if you were a new player paying to subscribe to the game and training based on the training queue you set up. So what I'm going to do, the reason I'm opening my fit here, and I opened the fitting window using Alt-F, which is the default command to open the fitting window, is you want to look at what your requirements are, and then another thing that comes in with looking at a ship module or any other in-game thing that can be manufactured is that it will tell you, in order to make this thing, there's an industry tab, and in order to manufacture another mining laser, I need a Miner 1 blueprint. I need a certain amount of these types of minerals processed from ores, and I can use it to make a Miner 2, which is a upgrade of the Mining 1. How you get the Tech 2 blueprint copy is by running an invention job on the blueprint for the Miner 1. And it shows me all the different variations of the type of miner that I can fit. And I can see that there are certain benefits to training higher. Now, one of the things that happens when you look at your ship is that there's an extra tab in there, actually a couple of them, but let's expand this out a little bit bigger. You have in here attributes. Anywhere there's a green, it's being affected by one of my skills or by something I fit to the ship. Anywhere there's a red, again, it's being affected by something that's fit to the ship. There's fitting room and a description of how many slots you have and what's in there. Requirements in terms of basic skills to fly it. And then there's a mastery tab. And I want to explain this mastery tab a little bit because I talk about it in a couple of other videos, but I don't really dive into it. Mastery is not something you have to achieve for each of these, vessels. Having mastery in a certain level of that vessel really just says that you have the core skills around your character operating it at a certain level of efficiency, but they're by no means hard and fast requirements. It's just sort of a good marker for you, the new player pilot, to say, if I don't know what I don't know about training skills and training to be effective in a particular ship, you can go to the Mastery tab. You can look at the different levels of mastery and see how they differ in terms of the skills you train towards certain certificates. When you gain mastery in it, these higher levels will light up. So right now, I just need to train one level of Shield Operation level 1. I'm going to spend 71,000 ISK to buy the skill book and add it to my queue. So now when I go back to my skill queue, I can see Shield Operation is in there, but because it's only an 8-minute train, I'm going to go my skills, shields, and I have Shield Operation here. I'm going to add a couple extra levels to this. Now what Shield Operation does is that it gives me a 5% reduction in shield recharge time per skill level. So my shields will recharge faster all on their own. The difference between shields and armor: shields passively regenerate, armor does not. So for 20 hours, or a total of 24 hours of training, I can get shield operation up to level 4. This is what you call a ×1 training skill. These other ones that take 2 to 3 times as long, these are higher training level skills. So let me just take a quick look here. Regulation of shield capacity per level. So this increases your total number of shield hit points. This increases how fast they recharge. And shield upgrades, it reduces the power grid needs for shield boosts or other modules like shield extenders, adaptive invulns, those kinds of modules. Tactical shield manipulation gives you reduces the chance of penetrating the shield when it falls below 25% by 5% per skill level, with 0% at level 5. So tactical shield manipulation is something that's worthwhile training up to level 5. But let's just throw a couple of these in here. So I'm going to give myself a couple levels of shield management and a couple levels of shield upgrades just to kind of get myself started. And I'm going to add in some tactical shield manipulation. And one of the things you'll notice is I'm trying to space these out so that they go up in ascending order of how long it takes these things to train. And that is because it just makes me happy. So this one's 2 days, 4 hours. This was 1 day, 17 hours. Cool. So I have an escalating amount of time for these things to train. If I just adjust this, you can see here now. Starts at 6-minute train remaining, then 38, then 1 hour 17 minutes, then 1 hour 56, and it just continues to go on as time goes by. So right now, 14 days. In the next 2 weeks, I will have all of these skills trained. Now let's look at my reprocessing skill. So I have mining, salvaging, and reprocessing. So this will help me to get a higher extraction of minerals from the stuff that I mine. The mining skill gives me a bonus to yield, so I'm going to throw that in my queue too. Throw that in there. And salvaging gives me a higher level of response, 100% increase in chance of salvage per level. So let's put that guy in there. There we go. So just a little over 17 days in training. Now, within the next 6 minutes, I'm going to have Mastery 1. To get Mastery 2, I need Acceleration Control, which gives me a boost to my Afterburner Micro Warp Drive speeds. So I can buy and train this. And that'll get added into my queue. And again, because it's not a very long train, drag it up there. And mining upgrades. I have not trained the mining upgrades skill. So I'm going to go back to mining and add in the mining upgrade skill and give myself a couple of levels of that. Oh, right. Let's replace these. So 33 minutes. Oops. There we go. 14 hours. There we go. Give myself 3 levels of that for now. That's enough. And then there we go. So I've got enough in my skill queue to kind of get my competency around this vessel up quite a bit. The other thing... Nope, that is actually the only thing I was missing. Shield operation. And, oh, no, I'm missing 2 more. Shield compensation. View required skills. Yeah, shield operation level 3, which will be done in 4 hours. So I'll go back to mastery level 2. And I'm going to add shield compensation. I'm going to add it to the end of my queue. Now, you'll notice that when you get to mastery level 3 for a venture, you start adding in additional skills. You start adding in sensor compensation skills, which will improve your scanning competency and scanning range. Navigation will increase your character's management of their movement of their ship in space. It adds in some extra skills like gas cloud harvesting and astrogeology, and additional shield skills. So basically helping you to understand how to make your vessel better as a scanning and resource harvesting vessel and better in space. Now, really for a venture, you really only need Mastery 2. The skills in here will help you get to a point where you'll be a little bit more efficient as a miner. And now that I've got that set up, I'm still in MBOD, which is sort of my starting system here. I'm going to go to the agency. This is a career agent system. I'm going to go back to my agents and missions, career agents, and I'm going to continue with the industry career path. So I'm going to start a conversation, and it's going to say, go out and mine some more. And the reward for this is that I will get to continue on my way in my training. So industry career path, accept. Yep. I'm going to get my undock prompt from Aura. And I need to warp to this Dead Space mission location. And as I collect my rewards, I will get additional fittings for my ship. Now, the last time I went through this, you'll see that I sort of preempted some of that, and I used the money that I've been making for my missions to already buy these things. But they do actually give you an extra mining laser through the process of getting all this stuff set up. Now, one of the other things I tend to do is I tend to take my warriors here and I move them into a group. And I'm going to call this group Warriors. And now I have, rather than having to throw my drones out into space one at a time, I have them grouped and I can just throw the folder and then they will undock at the same time. Now, here I've got a couple of rats, these guys here. So I'm going to target these first and orbit them. And I'm going to throw my drones out in space and I'm going to send my drones to attack them. And what will happen is that my drones will kill them for me. Same thing here. So the rat has started to attack me. I'm taking some damage. And then what I can do is I can set my drones to aggressive and focus fire. Focus fire means that they'll shoot the same target at the same time. And now what I can do is I can just orbit one of these rocks, set my mining lasers, see how much ore I've got. Completed. And before I leave grid, I'm going to want to make sure that I pull my drones back into bay. There's two ways to do that. The first and easiest way is to let's put this down here where you guys can see it a little bit better. First way to do this is to just go to my drones in space, and I can tell them to engage a target, or I can say, return to orbit, return to drone bay, scoop to drone bay, or I can take their hangar, drag it back in my drone bay, and they just dock up. So right now, rather than watching my ship fly circles, I can actually focus my aim on the rock and let the rock warp around me, or watch my ship go around the rock, rather. So you can hear the mining lasers doing their work. You can hear it chewing up the rock. Now, this is going to not take very long, so throw my drones out there just to have some passive defense from rats. And while we're waiting for this, we are going to add an overview pack to my overviews here. So we're going to say review.etechuni. Attempting to join channel. Oh, look, empty channel. Alright then. let me look that up. What is the actual address for that? Review. I started off in the game using the Eve University overview. So for me, overview EUV. Okay, so it's actually overview Eve Uni like that. Ta-da! Okay, now you have the overview channel. This is one of several. I personally like the Eve University one. There's also ZTech S overview pack, which I've covered in a video. There's the Sarashawa. There's a few different overpacks. I personally like the Eve University one, but you can use any of them. And some corporations may desire that you use exactly the same one that all of their members are using, but that will depend upon whether or not you're joining a corporation. So Eve University Overview is adapted from ZTech S Overview. Our modifications emphasize war targets as well as providing clarity on flashy targets. So it's really aimed at Neros. So what you do to load up your overview pack is you click on these links one at a time. So we're going to say, yes, we want to load the core one, and you're going to see, oh look, now we have these other tabs, and they're color-coded, and I'm going to add a PvP tab, or PVX tab, which is PvE basically, tab 2, load an overview profile, dscan, and dscan extended. What is this one? Yes, we're gonna add this one too. There we go. So this one, this numbered one, sets up all of your color-coded and named tabs. And then if you want to adjust your tabs and brackets, there's a whole lot of instructions here on how to do that, and some update information. So now I can close this channel, and then I can go into my individual colored groups, and it will show me all the stuff that I want to see. Now the other thing that I can do is I like to typically rearrange the order of these, so I'll go into my overview settings. I will change which one lives where. I'm going to take the copying of the MISC one though. So targets, oh this one. Oop. And I'm going to call this one mining. And brackets MISC. And then I can go through this list and I can say mining all. And then brackets, scroll down until I find mining all. And then I can take the same format and I can go in here and I can say I want one to be moons. And this is basic HTML, so you can copy and paste in whatever HTML you want. But in this one, what I want is moon mining. Moon. Okay, and then when I close this, you'll see I now have a mining tab and a moons tab. And then to add actual moons into this, I go to planets, moons, add moon to overview, asteroid belts, and then I can remove asteroid belt from overview. So now I have one that's mining and one that's moons, and this will show me all the moons in the system. And I can change the color coding of these, but I just wanted to use copying in those other values to just make it easier. Now the other thing I can do is I can right click on my mining tab and I can say load load preset to brackets, and I just come in here, mining all, and for moon, load preset to brackets, mining moon. And now, when I have my mining tab loaded, I can see all the rocks that I'm targeting. Now, another thing I'll show you, now that I've shown you how to take an overview pack and apply it and make a couple of small changes, is pin that window. Making it, pinning or unpinning a window basically just makes it whether or not it's transparent and whether or not the window moves freely or snaps into place, if I recall correctly. Oh, no, it still snaps. Okay, so it's really just making it transparent. Used to be that if you pin something, you wouldn't allow you to move it. And the other thing I can do here is I can... Oh, right. When you mouse over your holds and bays, you'll notice right now that it's showing the contents of my cargo hold. If I right-click on this and say to track ore bay, now it will start to fill up from the bottom blue to let me know when it's full. So at the completion of each mining cycle, it'll flash and that level of blue will update to show me when my ore hold will be full. Because right now, in a ship of this size, I only have a little tiny 50 M3 cargo hold, but I have a 5000 M3 ore hold. I'll just tell my drones here to return in orbit. Right now they're orbiting me anyways, and they will orbit at a set distance, and I don't believe you can adjust the orbit distance. I think it's set in their statistics, because, I mean, they're an unmanned vessel. And that's that. So now basically we're going to wait until I have enough to satisfy the conditions of this mission, which we've accepted. And what I did there was to just open up my journal by going Alt-J, or if you're on a Mac, Command-J. And you can also access it by your Neocom personal, is it personal? Or utilities? Where did they put it, actually? Interesting. Am I blind? Am I just not seeing the journal? Oh, it's under activities. Derp. Okay, so you go to activities, journal, but Alt-J. It's keyboard command. Honestly, after you played this game for a while, everything's keyboard command. It's all hotkeys. So I can double click on the journal entry that's open. This is where I can keep track of multiple missions at the same time. And I can see that this is mission 4 of 10. I have to mine until I have 7,000 units of titanium. And that might be a lot of mining to some people, especially if you're in a venture. Really, let's see how much we get out of a full ore hold. It should really only be one hold, or maybe a tiny bit more, but really it shouldn't be that much. There's my little ship orbiting around. I can decrease the orbit, make my ship fly in a little bit closer if I want. I can set up some really nice camera shots that show when my ship is orbiting close. There he is. Oh, he bumped into the rock. So in this case, I'm just going to use my default orbit, which is 1,000. He's going to orbit out a little bit further. So I figure we've got another 4 or 5 cycles to, pardon me, a couple more cycles to get this filled up. So I'm getting 110 meters cube every 60 seconds per mining laser. So 220 meters cube every completed 60-second cycle. And given the fact that I have only halfway full to 20, so 10 cycles. A little bit longer than I expected. I guess I'll be speeding this section of the video up.
The asteroid is depleted. The asteroid is depleted.
Now, one thing we gain out of being able to have a survey scanner is that each time we pulse it, it gives us an update of the measurement of how much ore is left in each of these rocks, and we can see the quantity available left. So in this case, we have 30,000. We filled up, pretty much a little bit more than half our hold. We'll be able to get another 30,000 or 25,000 before we empty or finish filling up our hold, rather. At which point we can go to a station and empty the ore and then reprocess it. All right, here we go. We have got the ore hold basically full. It's good enough for now. And we're going to return to the station. But before I do,
Warp drive active.
turn all my drones to the bay and go dock.
Warp drive active.
Now, you'd think that looking at the model of this ship, that this little glassy front pod would be the cockpit. It's not. It's actually up here.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Alright, so the very next step here, the thing that we have to do is go into our ore hold, transfer all this to the item hanger. We can stack all of our feldspar. And the next thing we can do is we can, if we were at a station that had compression, we could compress the ore. And instead of 47,940 feldspar, we'd end up with 47.9 or 47 in this case, because it would not take the last 479. Sorry, it would move the decimal place one that way. 479 units of compressed ore, compressed feldspar in this case. But reprocess this. We can see that I'm getting 56% reprocessing efficiency between the station and my skills. So I have the pre-processing skill. I can gain additional bonuses from the skill reprocessing efficiency, and then additional percentage from the ore processing skills. In terms of base yield, there are certain Upwell structures and rigs for those structures that will increase this efficiency massively. So the amount of mineral that I'm able to get out of the ore that I mine goes way up. And I think with Perfect Refine, you get something close to like 87 or 89% efficiency. It might be higher than that, so don't quote me on that. But that's as of my last recollection. So now, how much feldspar do I have? 201,000. Let's see how much I needed in my journal. Missions. Probably a lot less than that. 7,000. So now I have a whole bunch of extra, which means I can go building stuff. So we're going to complete that mission. As promised, he's going to give me an extra mining laser. Let's see if there is a salvage laser. Ship equipment, salvager 1. Goody, there's one in the station. I'm going to buy one, and I'm going to fit it to my ship so that I can show you how it works. Boop. Now I have a salvager. Excellent. What's the next mission? 7,000 titanium. Next option. Take this cargo of electronic parts, take it here and drop it off. I will get an afterburner, an expanded cargo hold, and some ISK. So I'm going to say accept. I'm going to take this, put it in my cargo hold. I'm going to set a name for my ship. I'm going to call it Tonka, because that's what I name all of my ventures, all the time, always. And I'm going to take off my 5mm micro warp drive, and I'm going to put on this afterburner. And actually, I'll take my Gatling guns. Oh, not enough space. Oh, too bad. I'll take this. Sorry for the yawning. I'm on the Pacific Coast, and it is presently 11:32 in the evening. Always late night recording. Set destination. Oh, it's several jumps away. Let's see if I can shorten that at all. Yes, I wish a shorter route. No, still going to be 8 jumps. Alright then. Anything new? Yeah, those 2 items. So, set a course, and let's be on our way.
Warp drive active.
I do also stream EVE Online content on Twitch. You can find that up there in that corner. And you can find my information about this YouTube channel and also my Twitter
drive active.
Down below. And just for fun, let's see all the pretty skins that we can put on this venture. I have the Amara Industrial Livery skin for a lot of my other characters. The Angel one gives it kind of this like dark, muddy camo. The Blood Raider one's pretty nice. Red and like spattered with blood. Kind of evil looking. Like the Reavers in Firefly. Kaldari gives it Kaldari colors, Galente gives it Galente colors. Glacial Drift was one that was given out during a event, and during Yoil, which is like the Yule year-end Christmassy sort of thing. Hence the winter theme. The Garistas ones you can get from destroying certain rats and containers when you chase down mining fleets and kill their ships. Load Strike you can buy with Plex, or possibly in some markets. Minmatar Industrial, ooh, gotta give me those fancy Minmatar colors, make me line up with my character's race. Morphite Shine is kind of nice, it's like red and gold. It's like, ooh, fancy, I'm a nice Prospector. And then the Pay Dirt Prospector is like a dark indigo with some gold accents. And then there's the Sandship, which is like a greeny, browny, sort of fatigue drab color. Of all of these, I tend to like this one the most, just because I'm a real Amar fanboy, but this is a Minmatar character, so I might just have to go pick up the Minmatar Industrial skin for it. Just because. And you can see all I'm doing, now that I've set a course for my destination, I'm not even really looking at what's on grid with me because I'm in high sec. I'm literally just clicking jump. And each new system I go into, you're going to see this one icon, this one system tag that shows up yellow. That's indicating that it follows this course. And that yellow is what we routinely refer to as being the yellow brick road. So when somebody tells you follow the yellow brick road, they mean set a destination to where you're going, set it to the conditions they tell you, confirm the number of jumps, and then just keep jumping to the yellow gates. One of the first things you learn when you fly with other people is how to follow fleet commands. One of those fleet commands is go here, and they'll say something like, you know, Freebird, which means fly yourself there as fast as you can. They might say, you know, the gate on this system is red, meaning stop there, do not go through that gate. If they say gate is green, it means the gate is free to be proceeded through, continue on to your next destination. Typically gate is green means jump into the next system and hold for instructions from the fleet commander. But if you're free burning, and somebody says is this gate red, FC says gate is green, if you're free burning it just means keep going.
Warp drive active.
almost there. 2 jumps left. Yeah, when you live in high sec and you move around in high sec, really what you'll find is, and this is true of all regions of Eve, but particularly true if you're doing high sec industry, is that you fly around a lot. Getting around space, flying from one region to another, really is just a matter of a lot of flying and a lot of jumping through systems. And after a while, the names of those systems kind of don't matter to you.
Warp drive active.
You have an objective, you have a place you've got to get to, you've got a place you want to come back from, and that's it. And if I go to my MISC tab here, I can look at structures, and I can add or remove engineering complexes. You can see here we have an engineering complex. Actually, this is a good example of a place I can stop to show you this. I'm going to not go the rest of the way into the system. I'm going to warp. Do I have standing? I have docking asses. So I'm going to warp to within 0 of this.
Skill training completed.
Let's
Warp
go.
drive active.
Alrighty. So let's zoom out. This structure that you can see here is a Raitaru. This is the smallest of the engineering complexes. It is basically a factory city in space. It is one of 3 types of Upwell structures. There are engineering complexes, refineries, and citadels. Citadels are defensive structures or city homes. Engineering complexes are the places things get built, built and manufactured or researched. And then refineries are where you would obviously refine materials, do reactions, those kinds of things. When you dock with a structure like this,
accepted.
You will be dragged in just as though you would have been if you were docking with an NPC structure. The inside of the hangar pretty much looks the same as the insides of other hangars. Not a whole lot of change there. You still have billboards. You still have all your services. Now, whether or not these services are active will depend. Like here, you can see the clone bay is disabled. Will depend on whether or not the station owner has bothered to install those services and wants to keep them fueled up so that they continue to operate in service. But operating an Upwell structure can be expensive. So, just wanted to show you what that looks like. And now we're going to continue the next jump and complete our
Warp
next
drive
step
active.
of the mission. So, whoop, off we warp. And then we will land on grid, jump through, and then go to the final destination station to drop off the mission objective. Clearly I need coffee.
Warp drive active. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Okay, now I have my objective. I've picked everything up. I have to drop it off. I start a conversation with the next agent in the chain, and I go complete mission. So now I get an additional reward. So I have everything I need. the reward for hard work is, of course, more work. So now I have been granted a 1 min afterburner. These two things will be mine, and I will receive bonus rewards. Did I get that other reward? Nah, it's fine. And now what I'm going to get is I'm going to get a blueprint for cap boosters, and I have to make 20 cap boosters. And if we look at this, outcome 10 times cap booster 25. I need titanium, pyrite, and mexilin. So close this, undock. I totally forgot to pick up that.
Docking permission requested. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
I totally forgot to grab that, didn't I? So now I have to fly the 8 jumps back to Embod. Yeah, I have to be at his station. Alright. So, we're going to go back to our career agent system. I'm going to open up my personal assets because I know I have things that live there. And I'm going to say set destination. And I will follow the yellow brick road.
Warp drive active.
Now I just wait to get back there. Jump, jump, jump. Here's another place where I'll probably speed up a video. Now, this is an area where I would tell you don't use Autopilot. And I will show you why in the next system. So you'll notice that when I warped to the next gate, that it's going to warp me directly to the Ada Gulf gate, or Alda Gulf. It will put me directly on the gate, distance within 2,500 meters. It will immediately jump me through. Okay. And I just move gate to gate that way. Now, because I have a course set up and I know where I'm going, and this is all high-sec space, if I were to turn on autopilot, the autopilot will take care of getting me there. The problem is that it does it slowly. And
to Stargate. Warp drive
there you go.
Active.
Warp into Stargate, and it'll take care of all of the moving me through gates and putting me in the jump queues and everything else. But as part of all of that, what will happen is that it will move me to not 0 on the gate. It will take me to 10 kilometers from the gate.
Approaching
and
Stargate.
It will then do that. So it will slow boat itself into the gate and then jump. And I don't know why CCP insists on having it set up that way, other than possibly to give gankers an opportunity to get in there and blow you up before you get to the gate. So given that you have 10 kilometers of vulnerability in a system when you're using autopilot at both the arrival gate and the out gate, at least 10 kilometers from the gate at both ends, because you spawn 10 to 14 kilometers off the gate when you jump through. In either case, running depends on your ability to get away quickly, and if you're an industrial and you're sitting still, well, you're an industrial. and you're sitting still. So you will very likely die if somebody is there to do so. High sec is no impediment to PvP. It's just that PvPers go in with something stupidly cheaply fit because they know they're going to lose it. So
Approaching
in this case,
autopilot disabled.
Rather than doing that, I'm just going to sit, look at my computer screen, wait for the next system to load, and click jump to next gate. And it will go to the next gate, jump through the Stargate, and I just press it again, through the remaining 5 jumps. And it will go much faster if I'm not using autopilot than if I am. Also, much less risk. So there's something to be had in terms of saying, pay attention to that risk mitigation.
Warp drive active. Drive active. Drive active. Drive active. Drive active. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Okay, now that we're back at our home station for the next step of the mission, we will accept, take the cap boosters, open up the industry window. In this case I used a keyboard shortcut, Alt-S, S for science. You can also find it by going to your Neocom, Industry, and then clicking on the Industry tab. I'm going to take my cap booster blueprint, and I can see I have tons and tons of titanium, but I don't have any pyrite or mexilon. So I need pyrite and mexilon. Well, where do I get pyrite and mexilon from? L, of course, from rocks. So I have to go out and mine some more. This is the life of an industrialist. It's so zen. I'm literally looking at Facebook while I'm making this video. That is how deeply, wonderfully engaging this is. And you know what? Mining is lovely for that reason. Because when you've had a long day and it's late at night and you just want to talk with your fans and teach a Dubro how to do a thing, this is fantastic. So where do I want to go from here? Well, I want to go mining. Where do I want to go mining? I want to go mining in an asteroid belt. I can now, having set up this new tab, go to these asteroid belts one at a time until I find one that still has rocks in it, and then I can mine that. And if there's no rocks in this system, I go next door. And I basically just warp around until I find an asteroid belt with rocks in it. I can also check my probe scanner to see if there's any anomalies. And as I said before, undock that shit right away, because yuck. Oh look, I do have some more anomalies. Ooh. So there's a Minmatar mining fleet already here mining this out, but I want something different. So I am going to pick one of these ore sites and see what they're... Ooh, asteroid belt remnants. Okay, so I'm going to warp to this one. Let's expand this out a little bit. Whoop. Come on. There we go. And now, the difference between a combat site and an ore site is this icon over here, and the fact that it'll belong to the group combat sites and ore sites. Alright, now, compared to the site I was just in, you will see that this site has way more rocks in it, and a greater diversity of rocks. So I am going to pulse my survey scanner and see what comes up on it. Nothing, because I'm not within the 15-kilometer range. So I'm going to pick one of the bigger rocks and I'm going to approach it. Turn on my afterburner so I get there faster. And if I turn on my tactical overlay, I can actually see where they are in relation to my ship. Now, I've got a few different types of rock here. I've got feldspar. Literally looks all like feldspar. Veld. Oh, so much feldspar, which is great if that's what you want to mine, but not necessarily what I want to mine. So I'm going to warp to a different one.
Warp drive active.
Turn my afterburner off and make it so. And again, a whole lot more feldspar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to one of those asteroid belts, and I'm just going to mine there, because the things that I need
active
are scordite and either peroxyres or plagioclase. Kernite or jaspit work too, but really I'm going to find plagioclase or peroxyres depending on which area of space I'm in. So here I have scordite, a couple nearby rocks, and I will approach one of them. Now, scordite will give me both titanium and pyrite, but the only places I can get Mexilon are from either Arcanor, which is a nullsec ore, Nice, which is available in Amar and Minmatar space, but only in nullsec. I can also look for Jaspet, which is available in low-sec, or Kernite, which is available in high-sec and low-sec. Plagioclase is available in high-sec, and is sometimes found in Minmatar space. So Plagio's really what I want to find, because that's what's going to give me the highest concentration of Mexilon for where I can go right now. Not necessarily where I can go, but where I have available to me immediately. And just for a little bit of extra defense, throw my combat drones out. And yeah, so really I only need a couple of mining cycles to get what I need to finish this particular pattern, but enough to get me started at least. That should be enough scorodite.
Warp drive active.
Again, just feldspar. Now, you'll see that I've got a couple of sites here called Anomaly Training Site. These training sites can only be found in Nubro systems and starter mission systems. So, I'm going to warp to this Anomaly Training Site. And I get this incoming transmission. You're inside a cosmic anomaly. You've done well. There's no hostile ships present, but our people have already cleared the area. All you have to do now is recover the proof of discovery that we've left there. Once you have it, bring it back to me, and we can move on to more advanced types of scanning. So I can go here, open this container. Burst my props for a cycle just to help get me closer fast. Boot the proof of discovery. And now I'm going to go to a different asteroid belt. Because really what I want to find is Plagio. Or Peroxeries. Tired. Apparently I need to go to sleep soon. But I wanted to show you guys what these initial missions are like. Alright, nothing here. Let's go to the next one.
Warp drive active.
Now you'll see that there are a lot of mining sites, but a lot of them are already cleared out. So what we're going to do is see if I can identify one that still has rocks in it. I want to filter for mining. I want to see if there are any rocks left. So these are maximum range of my scanner is 14.3.
Warp drive
So I'm going to warp
active.
to one of these sites and then I'm going to scan these other ones from there. Because right now my scanners don't reach that far. Maximum range is 14.3 AU. An astronomical unit, and AU is the distance from our planet Earth to our sun. Oh, here we go. Scordite, feldspar, whole bunch of stuff. So what I will do, sort by name. No other types of ore found, so not really going to find what I want here. So what I can do then is try jumping through into a neighboring system, see if it has any of the ores that I want.
Warp drive active.
Angel Burrow, which is a combat site, and I have 3 or 4 asteroid belts I can go to.
Warp drive
So let's see if any of
active.
these have been lined up. I have some concentrated scordite and feldspar. So let's go on to the next asteroid belt.
Warp drive
See if there's
active.
any remaining plagio there. The NPC mining fleets will slowly clean up the asteroid belts in each system by end time. So the end of the server, downtime at the end of the server day. And so you may find that most of the high value ores have already been mined out either by players or by other people.
Warp drive active.
NPCs or other people. And different names of ores will have different concentrations of how many minerals they carry. So when you refine them, dense is typically the highest concentration. Concentrated is the second highest. And then the standard ones, scordite or whatever. It's dense, massive, and condensed are the 3 different measures for that. And yeah, I'm not seeing any plagia. So, not going to find what I'm looking for here. What I can do is I can go back through the Stargate into MBOD. And I
Warp
can...
drive active.
Actually, another thing I can do here is I can jump into one of the neighboring systems and see if they have an ore anomaly
Warp drive
that has the
active.
type of ore that I'm looking for. I really don't need much. I only need about 1 or 2 cycles worth. Yay, more asteroid belt remnants.
Warp drive active.
Oh, a lot of Veldspar.
Warp drive active.
Again, more Veldspar.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
All Veldspar. So another thing we can try is let's bring up this name. Drone collection is a level 2. I might be able to do it in this.
Warp drive active.
So the drone collection is a combat site, and I'm currently not in a combat fit ship, but I do have some drones. So I'm going to see if I can make some light work of some of the drones at this site, and see if there's any ore in the site to be had. And there is ore to be had here. There's also an enemy. Here I can see that my drones are making pretty light work, pretty quick work of this guy. And because I'm going quicker than his weapons can track, I'm not taking a ton of damage. And of course, as is always the case with
To give the command to a drone requires you to have an
with
active
combat
target.
sites, there's always more than one wave.
Skill training completed. To give the commands to a drone requires you to have an active target.
And we can see here that my health is, holding steady. My shields are 80 something percent, 81%. But they will recover it on their own over time. What I'm looking for going just fast enough that their guns are having a really hard time landing on me or tracking. You also can't use a mining laser in combat. There we go. Cleared all the rats. And now, something I will show you. I will bring my drones back. And I will approach one of these wrecks. And now what I can do is use my salvaging laser. And there we have it, our first piece of salvage taken from a ship. So now that you have the knowledge of how to use a salvaging tool, any wrecks that are left behind that from ships that you create can be salvaged. You may not always succeed based on your skills, based on the range to the ships that you are salvaging. Right now I just happen to be in a nice little spread where they're all within 5 kilometers. So I can salvage these and potentially get loot. Now, a single unit of salvage can make me anywhere between 5 and 20,000-30,000 ISK, or in some cases like Lorentz fluid make me a lot more. And salvage is used to make things like rigs, T2 ships, advanced modules, and so on. So, salvaging is a good way for new players to make money as well. And I talk about that in the ratting for ISK video, or ratting for income video that I have in my channel. You can watch that too. And basically this is just another way for me to add income to my efforts. So I'm going to salvage down these 4 remaining wrecks, and then I'm going to 5 remaining wrecks, and then I'm going to fly back to MBOD, 2 more jumps, reprocess the ore that I've gotten, and buy the remaining ore that I need to complete making those charges that I've been tasked with making. And yeah, I just cycle through the wrecks that I want to harvest. I press F3, salvaging laser targets it, and as long as I'm within 5 kilometers, it will go through a series of attempts to try and salvage that or those goods. Sometimes it's successful, sometimes not. Sometimes you get something out of them, sometimes you don't. There we go. So in a very short amount of time, just from salvaging, we've made 100,000 ESC. We've got additional ores, and I can now warp back to my...
Warp drive active.
I can now warp back to my station where I'm currently got my stuff, finish my mission, and call it an evening. And for a lot of you, this is exactly how it's going to go. And if I look tired, yeah, it's been a long day, but I still get to play Eve at the end of the day. My wife and daughter are asleep. I get to, play something that allows me to wind down after the end of the day, and I play with a group of friends. It's nice to be able to show you guys, as new players, how some of these systems work, and to talk to you and kind of walk you through some of these things. And, mining isn't glorious. But literally everything in Eve depends upon the efforts of miners. You wouldn't have any of the ships you have in game if it wasn't for somebody mining ore somewhere. And if this is something you enjoy doing, then you should be encouraged to continue to do it, because we need you. We need industrialists. We need people to make ships and make ammunition and, to salvage wrecks and make rigs. All of these things are necessary. So, I wanted to give you guys a taste of what that looks like. Alright. Here we are. Go back to station.
Warp drive active. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Now, just for the sake of bringing this video to a quick close, one of the things I'm going to show you is how to get some of what you're looking for. So I'm going to change this into a stacked view like this, where I can see the details. I'm going to find my minerals by grouping everything by group. And here's my scordite. So now I'm going to reprocess my scordite. And I can see I'm getting titanium and I'm getting pyrite. So now I have enough of those minerals. Now what I need is to stack everything, and I need to purchase from the market some Mexilon. And in this station, there's 492 right there. So if I buy 492, I need 33,000 ISK. I have 228,000 ISK. I'll buy that. Now I can go in here and I can sell these items. Immediately and make some extra cash. So now I have everything I need to complete making my 2 runs of cap boosters. And now what will happen is this job will run, and in 9 minutes and 20 seconds I will have the cap boosters to move on to the next level of this industry career agent mission. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope I haven't bored you to tears, and if you have anything that you'd like to know, go ahead and throw me questions down the doobie-doo, and I will answer those as soon as I can. Thanks everybody, and have a great night.